Good morning, Facebook. Thank you for joining us on this Facebook Live. I'm Kwan. Don't forget, before we get started, you can always watch this on your own time, and you can do that by going to our Inform YouTube channel. You can listen to this on your own time as well, just by going to your favorite podcast platform, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, maybe, and then you can also find this online by going to inform.com/podcast, and then you can just click on the Inform Minute. Okay. All right, let's get started with some of your top headlines of this morning. Today does mark the 8-year anniversary of the disappearance of NDSU student Tommy Pearson. He was a freshman at NDSU when he went missing during the first month of school. He was found dead by Larry's RV sales in Moorhead just a few days later. And we know from police that his death was caused by homicidal violence through asphyxia. That anniversary comes, though, as police say that they have new evidence in this case. Okay, so 8 years later, they have new evidence in this case. And we couldn't get them to tell us, of course, exactly what kind of evidence they found, but they are saying that they're feeling pretty confident that this could lead to some more answers. So heading in the right direction there, of course. So meanwhile, Moorhead police are asking anyone with information on Pearson's death to give them a call. But a step in the right direction. All right, and before you head out the door, drivers in West Fargo, wanted to let you know about some closures. So 9th Street East from 2nd to 13th Avenues East will be closed. It's that stretch that runs right by West Fargo High School there. Crews are going to be shutting down some lanes from time to time as they work on fixing the concrete, and that is expected to be done by November 19th, so kind of a lengthy project there. All right, we also know that body camera footage, police body camera footage, is painting a new picture this morning of that deadly police standoff in Mapleton that, of course, led to the death of Andrew Martinez. Police are saying that Martinez was drunk when he came out of the door with a gun. Well, it was an AR-15, and he was holding that and then pointed it at officers. And that is when 4 Fargo police officers, who were, by the way, called in as backup for deputies, they fired nearly 24 shots at him. Now, he was hit 5 times by those bullets, and then he bled to death. But because of the nature of the weapon, that AR-15 that he was holding when he came out of the door, North Dakota's Attorney General, Drew Wrigley, is saying that shooting was justified. We are also digging through some court papers that show a deadly hit-and-run crash at a small-town North Dakota street dance over the weekend was actually politically motivated. We brought you this story just yesterday on First News. 41-year-old Shannon Brandt is facing charges of vehicular homicide and leaving the scene of a deadly crash in Foster County. But troopers are saying that those charges could actually be upgraded. Court documents are saying that Brandt told a 911 dispatcher that he hit Kaylor Ellingson, 18-year-old, in the town of McHenry because the 18-year-old, Kaylor Ellingson, was apparently a part of a Republican extremist group and was calling people to come attack him after a political argument. So if he gets convicted on that vehicular homicide charge, he would be facing a minimum of 10 years in prison because he actually had a DUI on his record. But the maximum sentence is 20 years in prison. Also, right now, if you go to our website, inform.com, there is a GoFundMe page that's been set up for that 18-year-old Kaylor Ellingson who died from this hit-and-run crash. So if you'd like to help out with his funeral expenses, you can find a link to do that on our website. Okay, so we also had a really big update when it comes to that string of dumpster fires in downtown Fargo. We kind of told you all about it last week, and Fargo firefighters are now telling us that they think all 3 of those dumpster fires from last week are linked. So they are saying, they're pointing to the reason that, all 3 of those fires happened within just a half hour of each other. And at least 2 of those fires right now are being investigated as possible crimes, potentially arson, right? We know that the Fire Marshal, Ryan Erickson, is telling us that they are working with Fargo Police on their investigation here on out, and they are also saying that charges could be filed. So stick around for that update to see if anyone will be facing any charges or if possibly they release some sort of a suspect description for you. All right, nationally, gosh, this one's going to affect a lot of people. Hopefully not, but I know that these frozen meals are very popular. Healthy Choice, right? We see those all the time. I actually have gotten a bunch of meals from Healthy Choice before just for quick meals, but right now a frozen meal from them is being recalled, and it's actually really important for people who might be allergic to dairy. So A frozen food storage and repackaging facility says that the labels on its Korean-style beef power bowls do not have a warning that said it contains milk. Well, it says the meals have been shipped to stores nationwide. They have a best if used by date of April 18th of next year. Thankfully, we checked this morning. No one has gotten sick from these so far, at least no reports of that just yet. But if you have it, you're asked to either toss it or just return it to the store. You can always find more information on recalls on USDA.com. All right. We also know that leaders today from FEMA are heading out to Puerto Rico, and they are going to be assessing the needs of the people recovering from Hurricane Fiona. So we learned overnight, Fiona was upgraded to a Category 3 hurricane. At least 2 people have died after the storm hit this weekend. We also know that this is affecting the Dominican Republic, as Dylan told us yesterday. But we also checked on the numbers when it comes to power outages this morning, because that was kind of our focus yesterday. More than 1 million people without power in the area. That is still the case this morning, and the governor is continuing to say that this could take days before that power is restored to everyone. So I thought this was kind of interesting, and Lydia did a good job of breaking this down for us as to why. But Fiona did hit almost exactly 5 years after Hurricane Maria, which happened in 2017. It's because, what was the exact date for peak hurricane? September 10th is peak hurricane season, and that, of course, explains things as to why it was almost exactly 5 years after Hurricane Maria. Just thought that was kind of an interesting tidbit. Also, we know that some House lawmakers are trying to lay out their proposal for legislation to prevent another situation like what we saw in the United States on January 6th. So the proposal, I know that Congresswoman Liz Cheney of Wyoming is one of the lawmakers involved in this proposal, or the one proposing it. I believe there's someone else involved as well. I can't think of the name right at the top of my head right now. But so the proposal basically aims to make it harder to overturn a certified presidential election in the future by proposing some changes to the Electoral Count Act. It would make it a lot harder for lawmakers to raise some sort of objections to official electors that are submitted from states, and then address attempts for state legislatures to change an outcome of an election after it was certified. So the House is preparing to vote on that bill sometime this week. We'll definitely keep an eye out for that and let you know what comes out of it. All right, Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, Inforum.com. Not exactly sure what he's got on the docket today, but I'm assuming he might be talking about the Vikings game yesterday. Kind of a tough loss against the Eagles. We heard from head coach Kevin McCollum, too, who was saying, he was saying that it's my job to get this team back on track for next week. So I'm sure he'll talk a little bit more about the Vikes. And yeah, you can go join him, 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, Inforum.com. And on Inforum.com, here's a headline I wanted to share with you. It's Fargo Commissioner Kwan says downtown seen as not safe, wants greater police presence. This is a story that we've been tracking on First News throughout the morning as well. And we know that the Fargo Police Department is going to have more officers consistently starting next spring, but right now there are some other plans in the works as they wait for more consistent officers in the downtown area. So if you'd like to read up on that right now, you can do that on our website, Inforum.com. Okay, before we go, don't forget, for 99 cents a month for your first 3 months, you can get an all-access pass to our website, Inforum.com, and gosh, so many other different partners. You got sports, you got weather, you got news, you have, DL Online, you got, you know what I'm saying. So all of those things you can access for just 99 cents a month for your first 3 months. Here's how you do it. Inforum.com/subscribe, and then you can just get that deal. It's as simple as that. All right, everyone, that's all I got for you today. Of course, we got our 11 o'clock show airing, in like 3 hours. That's with Becky Parker and Dylan Vogt, so make sure you stay tuned and join them for that. And then we also have coverage in the evenings as well, starting at 4, going to 5, 6, 9, and 10. And we'll be back here tomorrow morning from 5 to 7, and we hope to see you guys then. Have a good day.